for the past couple of weeks, I have been thinking about where I want to begin to share with you guys what I need to around the issue of child sex trafficking, human trafficking, exploitation, occults, sex magic, all kinds of stuff that is coming to the surface really for the first time ever in our history, at least on this scale and this magnitude. It's been on my heart. I know that I need to be making these videos for you guys to help to educate, help to bring the awareness. And I want to not even encourage you. I want you to know that now is the time. Now is the time for you to get uncomfortable. I have heard over the years, for those of you who don't know, my name is Shay. I'm the founder of a nonprofit organization called Freedom that fights human trafficking in Canada, and then we have allies all over the world that we support and we partner with. And one of the things I've commonly heard over the years is that it's too ugly. I don't want to listen to it. I won't be able to sleep at night. I can't stomach. And although these are appropriate responses when you hear what is happening to a person, to a human being, and majority of the time it's women and children and young boys, the type of torture and abuse that is going on, the appropriate response is that it's too hard to stomach, that it should make you squeal. It should make you want to vomit and puke. So I get that it's uncomfortable, that you don't want to hear it, that it would be easier to go to bed at night not knowing this information. And so I guess what I want to encourage you and rather ask you, I ask you to be courageous right now. Our world needs more heroes to stand up, to speak out and call out the exploiters that are all over our world, in Canada, the United States, across Europe, on every single continent, that are exploiting our children. And now is the time. You need to be courageous, and that's what I want to say to you. I want to encourage you to stand with me, to stand with Freedom, to stand with so many allies across our world that are speaking out against the exploitation of children and human trafficking. I would love to see the same amount of effort and urgency around reporting numbers for COVID and would be done for children that go missing every day. Did you know that in the United States, 2,000 children go missing every day? That equates to over 800,000 kids that go missing every year. And Canada, I know we have less people here, but we still have over 50,000 children that go missing every single year. Where is the mainstream media on that? How come nobody's talking about that? Why does the mainstream media not cover the issue? I will tell you, it is not by accident. It is fully intentional. When you have 4 companies that own over 90% of the media, it is not by accident that the mainstream media is not covering this issue. Every 30 seconds, one child is trafficked. Whether it's for sex trafficking, forced labor, organ trafficking, there are different kinds. And anytime any form of human trafficking, there will always be some form of sexual exploitation that happens with that. But think about that. Every 30 seconds, one child is trafficked. Guys, this is a $150 billion industry every year. And I always like to put that into context, because unless you have $150 billion in your bank account, you, like me, may understand what that number really means when we say that. $150 billion, this illegal enterprise is greater than the profits of, are you ready? Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon combined. This is a huge, lucrative, illegal industry that is taking place And it's happening right before our eyes every single day. 80% of all sex tourism that happens in the world comes from within the United States, meaning they are the largest consumers and users. In Canada, we are not that much better, let me tell you. And let's just call sex tourism what it actually is. Pay to rape, pay to torture, pay to abuse, pay to molest. That is what we're talking about. The average age of entry into forced prostitution in Canada and in the United States is around 13 years old, which means that the vast majority in our countries are 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, to keep that number, to keep that average down as low as it is. And that's in the US. Don't forget what I said. You're going out to also other countries where Americans and Canadians are going to pay to rape a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 6 years old. Think about that for a moment. 6, 3, and even younger than that. No word of a lie. There is nothing too far-fetched when it comes to this topic, when it comes to this horrendous evil. If you can think it, not that I want you to sit around starting to think of like, if you could torture a child or a human, what would you do? But my point is that if you can think it, the worst thing you could think of, it is happening in our world. And these are not conspiracies. There is so much that has been suppressed, has been covered up. Evidence has been tried to be deleted for years and years and years around this issue. And personally, I think that the word conspiracy is a really, really easy way for us to turn a blind eye, to say that sounds too far-fetched, that sounds too evil, that sounds too crazy. That could never happen, especially in Canada, especially in the United States of America, and therefore it must not be true. So what's being said is a conspiracy. And I'm here to share with you that many times it's the complete opposite. Too often in our society, the evil is actually being presented to us, but we've been so desensitized to conspiracy. All of the people going to his island, all of the girls that, the stories that were coming out, this can't be true. Why? Because it was happening pretty much in plain sight, yet nobody said that it was trafficking. And it took years to actually get him to be behind bars and not pay people off, get back out, cases dismissed, mainstream media not covering it. And that's just like one example. I could go on and on about different conspiracies that is just easily dismissed, and they've been buried intentionally. Evidence has been thrown out. It's been destroyed. And so this is what I want to encourage you, that if you're going to start looking into things, instead of just dismissing something that doesn't feel good to you, that you'd rather not believe, or has been deemed debunked or not true, I encourage you to really start doing some research and fact checking. And when you're doing that, that means not just going to Google and typing in one theory or one conspiracy and looking at the first 3 articles that comes up. Because let me tell you, Google is heavily censored. Google is on their side. And if you don't believe me on that, that's a whole other video in itself. Going to Google is not going to help you do proper research. You need to go to different sources. You need to do cross-reference. You need to look at the information from video in itself. Going to Google is not going to help you do proper research. You need to go to different sources. You need to do cross-reference. You need to look at the information from even different search engines. I use DuckDuckGo and Ecosia to do my research and cross-referencing. And what you're going to start to find is that this issue is not only so much deeper and darker than you think, but so much of what's happening in our world right now, pretty much everything, is linked in some way to the hidden evil of child sex trafficking. And it involves some of the most powerful people in our world today. It involves celebrities, people that you like, people that you would never believe is involved, and they are involved. And the more we expose this, and more, even there's certain celebrities who have tried to start speaking out and have been killed over this, murdered over this. They do not want you, they do not want me to become aware of what is actually taking place in our world. And even, I'll give you a little research thing. Anytime you see a famous person who commits suicide, that is a great clue word to start going and doing digging. What was that celebrity, politician, influencer, what were they embarking upon that they were going to come out with before they committed suicide? There are many. I'm going to give you one. Go do your research on Isaac Kappy, Kappy, and just see what you come up with. Epstein definitely did not commit suicide. That is my strong opinion. That's what's being told to us. He knows way too much. Way too much. And it was an easy out. Easy to label him as that. But go do your research. I've given you a clue word. I'm going to link up after this video a great video that was done on Pornhub. You've probably seen it because it's been around now circulating. But if you haven't, this is a great entrance point. I'm going to also put in some other organizations to follow that you can start doing your own research on the issue of human trafficking, sex trafficking that's taking place in our world today. And July 30th, I'm going to do another video about it, but it is the World Against Human Trafficking Day. And I would love for you to stand with us to expose the exploiters. Now is the time. Let's get uncomfortable together. Let's look sex trafficking in the eye. Let's look those who are in power in the eye and say no more. It is time to expose you for the evil and the torture that you have been doing to children for all of these years. July 30th. Click the link in my bio or go to freedom.ca/July 30 to sign up and get the details on how you can join us on July 30th for World Against Human Trafficking Day. I look forward to standing with you.
Pornhub is the largest and most popular porn site in the world. Owned by the mega-porn parent company MindGeek, Pornhub averages 42 billion visits per year. That's 115 million visits every day. Most of the content featured on their site is user-generated, amassing 6 million new videos each year. That would take 169 years to watch. Pornhub has become the global epicenter of internet pornography. The company makes hundreds of millions of dollars through ad revenue, data collection, and premium subscriptions, and is blatantly enabling and profiting from rape, sexual abuse, and child sex trafficking. Like the missing 15-year-old girl who was found after 58 videos of her rape were posted on Pornhub. Or Rose Kalemba, the 14-year-old, who the BBC reported was kidnapped at knife point, raped and assaulted on camera for 12 hours, and had to beg Pornhub for months and threaten legal action to remove the videos of her rape and torture. Or the images of a toddler being sexually abused, found through an investigation by the Sunday Times. Or the 22 women who were deceived and coerced by the producers of Girls Do Porn, the popular Pornhub partner channel, whose owners now face a federal indictment for child pornography, sex trafficking of a minor, sex trafficking, and sexual abuse. These examples only begin to scratch the surface of the sexual crimes found on Pornhub. According to the Internet Watch Foundation, in only 2 years, they processed and confirmed 118 cases of child rape and trafficking on Pornhub. These aren't models or actresses playing a role in a movie. These are real videos of women and children being sexually abused, violated, and traumatized. And Pornhub is deeply complicit. They have no system to reliably verify the age or consent of anyone featured in their videos it profits from. The largest porn site in the world makes it insanely easy for users to upload videos of real sexual violence. And in doing so, They forever memorialize the trauma of their victims, all for the profit and pleasure of Pornhub and its users. It's time to shut down Pornhub and hold them accountable for the rape, trafficking and sexual abuse that they enable and profit from. Share this video and sign a petition at TRAFFICKINGHub.com.